You know, it's that time of year again where loneliness affects us all. And as you can see here, it talks about how being alone alters your brain structure. It alters the functionality of your brain, and it can cause cognitive health issues. You know, it's not good for a man to be alone. And in this holiday season, there's going to be a lot of people, that are Chads and Tyrones, and they're going to enjoy beautiful things like this, beautiful girls like this. And the reason I show this is to show you the raw brutality of the situation that we're currently trapped in. Guys in our position, guys in our situation, the loneliness always hits harder when it comes around holiday seasons. When all you ever wanted was a nice, cute girl in your life. And because of the way you look like, because of your jaw structure, because of your genetics, because of who are your donors for this existence, you don't get to have that nice girl in your life. And every last one of us who face this rejection, who face spiritual degradation, who face this type of mental obliteration, we all deserve to have something beautiful, something pretty, and something nice in our lives. Just look at this girl right here. Absolutely stunning, absolutely beautiful. This is the type of girl. If I wasn't if I wasn't so aware, and if I was a simp and a blue pill normie, I would try to wife up. But you got to understand, girls like this, these beautiful girls, they're always going to have somebody on a holiday. They're always going to have somebody to make love with, to go out to the movies with. Guys want to buy them anything that they want. These beautiful girls will never feel the isolation that we feel. These beautiful girls will always have somebody in their lives. They will never go a decade without feeling a human touch. They'll never go that long. Hell, they don't even go a day without it. You think this girl goes a week? Hell, let alone 2 days or 48 hours or, 48 seconds really, without somebody that's trying to date her, somebody that's trying to make her the wifey, somebody that's trying to put her on top of the pedestal. But a lot of us, man, we've been isolated since we were young. We've been facing rejection. We've been facing all types of mental health issues. And we've been facing all types of different things that affect our mind. And it's absolutely brutal. It's absolutely abhorrent that we have to face this. And in the holiday season, you see it. You see these beautiful girls. They're in the prime of their life, and I'm having a thing for goth girls. When I was younger, I used to like some of those goth girls, but, I was kind of still, blue pilled. So I thought they were into like devil worship and stuff like that. So I kind of kept my distance. But, as I got older, I got more knowledge. But this girl is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful, and look at that smile. That's a smile of somebody that doesn't have to go through pain, misery, and isolation. That's the smile of somebody that's going to have a wonderful Christmas, that's going to be very happy. How many of us are going to smile, this Christmas coming up? Or how many of us are going to be stuck in the same cycle, the same depressive episode, and the same emotional fluctuations that lead to eternal devastations? It's absolutely beautiful. It's absolutely brutal, and it's absolutely beautiful that some girls like this get to really enjoy life. It's a beautiful thing, right? It's a beautiful thing because when these girls are happy and enjoying their lives, they get to leave us with these wonderful pictures, of them being young and sexy and just thriving and vibing in life, So it's a beautiful thing that they get to enjoy life. But it's an ugly thing that we don't get to enjoy it. How many of you guys right now wouldn't mind having this as your girlfriend or having this as your Christmas present? Forget an Xbox, forget a PS5, forget anything else that's material. Imagine having her. Imagine on Christmas Day, instead of unwrapping a gift, you get to unwrap this wonderful, beautiful being right here. And it's absolutely brutal that a lot of us have to face this isolation alone. And a lot of us have to Just tough it out. But look at this. When you see somebody this beautiful, this attractive, you know, it's just wow. You know, is that the Ayugu or Aigu face, whatever they call it in the anime when those girls are making those faces? But when you see stuff like this, it makes you just think like how you cannot miss out on love when you're a young man. How when you're a young man, imagine having this girl to engage in sexual promiscuity with. How that would have boosted your confidence instead of getting teased at, laughed at, rejected, chasing a dream that never came to fruition and fomentation, chasing a dream that never came into existence, whether you want to be an artist, you want to be whatever it is that you really want it to be, you know. But imagine that. And imagine the Chad, you know, that gets to ram this all the time. Imagine him, you know. You already know Chad is hitting it from the back and making that natty smack. You already know that's going on. Meanwhile, how many of us are gonna have, you know, when Christmas comes around, we don't even know if we're gonna have a roof over our head, or we don't even know if we're gonna even be, you know, in the right, like, if we're gonna be in this realm of existence, because you know the holiday seasons, a lot of men commit seppuku, and it's understandable. When you see something this beautiful and you can't have it, it's natural for a man to want to have something like this in his life. It's unnatural for a man to be alone. It's unnatural for a man not to have a beautiful bad dame with a nice body frame like this in her life. You know? And she knows what she's doing too. You know? You see them sexy thighs right there. You know what I mean? Wearing a nice little skirt, you know? Cute little face. Look at that. That's the joy of every man's heart. And especially guys in our position. Now, we can't be delusional. We already know guys in our position can never, ever, 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 ever get a beautiful girl like this. You know? And even if we become a multi-millionaire, you would have to pay for this girl. You would have to pay for this girl to be in her presence, pretty much. You know what I mean? And if you do engage in sexual alleviation with her, it's going to be for a high price. Well, meanwhile, Chad just walks down the street, you know, wearing some surfer shorts, you know, no shirt on. He's finna go surf or down. He's finna go surf and catch a wave, bro, and all that. And he's about to go surf her waves as well. You know what I mean? And it's absolutely brutal, man. I show you guys this to add emphasis, to show you that we're missing out on life, man. There's a lot of things in life that we are truly missing out on, you know, and what's the point of even trying to engage in this world when you can't have the things that you want? Was it your fault that you were created not to be attractive? You know, hell, it's not even her fault that she is attractive. It's not her fault that she's beautiful. She was created this way. She was created to be a beautiful girl, you know? She was created to look like this, you know? And it's not her fault. So who decides who gets to become beautiful, who gets to become less attractive? And then we have to go through these holiday seasons year in and year out, being in total isolation, having no type of love. Now, I know a lot of us, we don't even want girls this beautiful, right? Because we know we can't get them. You know what I mean? Point blank. But if you could get a girl this beautiful, of course you would want this. Of course you would be happy with this. Of course you would love to engage in certain activities with this beautiful girl. But the problem is, in the holiday seasons, a lot of us have been through a lot of things. And when you see that one person, especially like a couple or whatever, when you see that one person on Instagram and they're flexing their girlfriend, they're showing, you know, pretty beautiful girls like this, smiling, having a good, wonderful time, you know, and you're just like, God dang, you know what I mean? Like, you know, like, how come I couldn't be one of those lucky chosen ones? How come I couldn't be one of those guys that could get a beautiful girl like this, you know? Cute face, slim waist, knows how to dress, you know, has that adult, nice feminine sex appeal. Look at that beautiful face. Just look at that. Look at that. You know? Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Look at that natural smile. That's the smile of somebody that never had to struggle in life. that never will truly know what isolation and desolation is, that never known the pains of rejection, that never known the pains of actually wanting something and never being able to achieve it. That's what that smile says. You can just look at that smile and you can tell that this girl was just extremely lucky. Probably born into, a relatively wealthy family, had a mom and a dad, had lots and lots and lots and lots of sexual encounters, so her confidence is high. You can tell she gets a Chad every single day, every other week, She's switching between Chad and Tyrone and, and all of them. Do you know how brutal that is when you're a guy in our position? Now, I know a lot of us, we can only dream of having a girl this beautiful, but still, when you constantly have to face rejection, when you constantly have to face the fact that you'll never have a girl that you really, really want, you have to, because you're a guy that doesn't look traditionally handsome, you have to settle, or if you're lucky enough to even settle, for a girl you may not want. But at the same time, you have to get your looks matched. And I know a lot of us, our S&V, is not very high. So getting somebody that's beautiful, somebody that's attractive, somebody that's, this quote unquote loving, you know what I mean? She's only loving Chad's rooster, you know what I mean? It's going to be impossible unless you become wealthy, rich, and successful. And they don't understand the effects that has on a lot of men. There are millions of men who would love to have a girl like this, but a girl like this, you already know she only dates Chad. That's it. She won't even look your way. This is the type of girl that if you go up to her and try to talk to her, she'll be like, ew, get away. You know what I mean? Put all her cell phone. I'm going to call the police. You know what I mean? Like, damn. You know what I mean? I just said hi. Hello. Good morning. How are you doing? I wasn't trying to spit no game like how you doing, beautiful, or your eyes are like flames of the night that sparks the sky. I'm not trying to spit no game, baby girl. I'm just trying to say hi, hello, to be a polite human. But you can't even do that to modern day females because they'll take that instantaneously as you trying to hit on them, and especially if you're a guy that's not traditionally handsome. But if you're a Chad or a Tyrone, you can say whatever you want. You can be as vulgar, as explicit as you want, and she's just going to spread eagle and allow you to land your nest if you're Chad. I'm speaking like that. I'm speaking that way on purpose so I won't be so explicit. You know how YouTube is. So a lot of these girls, they'll drop their panties for the right guy instantaneously. But for a guy like us, she'll probably have like that blue-pilled, guy in the friend zone who she uses, drives his car, has him get weed for her, buy food for her. He may even take her out to like eat, but it's not really a date. She's just getting free food. And he's thinking that he's doing something like, yeah, I'm finna take this girl out. I'm probably gonna hit it from the back, make that nanny smack. And she's like, okay, I gotta go. Because Chad texts her and they be right in the middle of the restaurant. She'd get up and leave, brutal. Now he's sitting there at the restaurant alone and he has to pay both of the bills. That happens. It's absolutely brutal. But let this holiday season be a reminder, man, that a lot of us are not gonna get the girls that we really want. It doesn't matter what gift people give you. This is what you truly want. A beautiful girl in your life to hug you, to make love with you, to help raise your confidence. And a lot of us, we lack the confidence to achieve our dreams, which led to no accomplishments. You see, you need confidence to have accomplishments. And a lot of us, we lost our confidence along the way, and it led to total isolation and life devastation. It's absolutely brutal, but it's absolutely the truth.